Ever have a song stuck in your head? It's like the worst song ever, but you can't help but whistle it or sing it. It's like repeats itself, repeats itself, repeats itself, repeats itself.
Happy Death Day is a movie directed by Christopher Landon and it stars Jessica Raoul. Happy Death Day is a movie directed by Christopher Landon and it stars Jessica Raoul. This movie is all about this character named Tree. It's her birthday. It's the day of her life. So then when she's getting ready to attend to a party, unfortunately her birthday was cut short because she was killed by some dude in a baby mask. And now she wakes up again and she has to relive the whole entire scenario over again. And while she's living the whole entire scenario over again, she has to solve her own murder in this fun, repetitive mystery. I gotta say, this movie has a lot of things going good for it and a lot of things going bad for it. But first things first, I always want to get out the positives first. The positive with this film, I gotta say that Jessica Raoul definitely did a good job with her performance, but there is times in this film where I kind of mistake her from Blake Lively, because in the movie, when you watch this film, you kind of feel like she's Blake Lively in it for a minute, and you have to do a double take and say, no, that's not Blake Lively. She did a good job in her performance. She was the best thing to look at. And also, there's some things they pay homage to, Groundhog Day. That's pretty much the premise of it, that life repeats itself. Groundhog Day. That's pretty much the premise of it, that life repeats itself. Seriously! One thing I did like is when they use the death as a comedy. And actually, that takes away from the horror a little bit, but yet I did enjoy those sequences. When they went to the comedic route, that was fun and enjoyable. I mean, it was pretty much a fun, dumb, your typical premise that you've seen in Before I Fall, Groundhog Day, Live, Die, Repeat, or you can call it Edge of Tomorrow. It pretty much has elements from all those three films with a side of horror, and they combine the film together and you got Happy Death Day. And one of the things I do enjoy is that this film was enjoyable and it was entertaining, I'd say at the least. And another thing I want to point out, that the camera work was done very well, especially for the chase sequences when she's being chased by whoever she's being chased by. They really did some interesting camera work where they shift the camera into an angle. It brought more depth to the chase scene, and that's one thing that I really enjoyed. So I really gotta praise the camera work and the directorial style from the director. Outside of those things, this film is definitely a huge cliche that is really predictable. When you're watching the movie, the audience members are not dumb. They can figure out who is the killer. And when a certain character points that out, the audience member may figure out who it is. Because once this character mentions a good point, the audience will automatically think and be like, in the character arc for Tree, it's definitely a huge cliche. At first, she comes off as a dick in a playing out. I mean, that's pretty much the cliche arc that's been used in these traditional horror films. And my main thing, I just gotta point out that really the logic in this, it just doesn't really make sense if you put your mind to it. That the plot of this film is outstanding. This is holding up a building, right? But the foundation of the synopsis doesn't work. And when you don't have a good foundation, everything collapses in on itself. And that's the main problem with this film. The plot collapses. In Edge of Tomorrow, they had a reason why life repeats itself. And Before I Fall, they kind of had a reason why life repeats itself. But with this film, why is it happening? How is it happening? Who's doing it? How is it happening? Is the movie going to explain how it's happening? Any hints or little things about this magical day that keeps happening, why she keeps repeating itself? I mean, she's the only one to know. The movie is not going to point out. They're not going to know. So writers weren't thinking about what will happen. No, they're just going to say it just happened because it happened. Okay. I gotta say, this film was definitely directed very well. It had good performances from the main star, Jessica Raoul, aka Blake Lively. But it has a whole bunch of cliches. It's really predictable. And the logic in it doesn't really make sense. But if you turn your brain off and watch this film is enjoyable. It just has some noticeable flaws well, plot holes. But this is a dumb, fun entertainment value at its best. Teenagers will definitely love this film. Well, there was some girls in the pre-screen. They said this was a fantastic, great movie. One of the best movies of the year. They said that. I just chuckled or laughed my ass off. But I gotta give this film a Michael Keaton Batman. This is a fun, dumb slasher horror comedy. This is a movie you should take your date and just enjoy some. Alright guys, that's my review for Happy Death Day. So guys, have you seen this movie? Please let me know. Give me your thoughts. Comment on the board. So guys, if you like everything you see and you agree, click right here. Join me in the Batman family. I'll have more Batman-tastic reviews in the way. You have been warned. Till then, ciao. Happy Death Day is a movie directed by Christopher Landon and it stars Jessica Raul.